What's up? What's up? What's up? Now, you already know what it is. Most of you won't receive any notifications about this whatsoever. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Now, we're going to get to the gist of this and drop what we know about what's transpiring here today. What went down in court was very shocking and surprising for most people. Diddy, who didn't have access to any hair dye, was completely gray on the top of his head. His goatee was gray under his on his chin, and it shocked all of the people there who was looking at the case. They were just jolted them because they weren't prepared for it. Now, here are some of the things that they were trying to hammer down in this case, because there's been so much sabotage, lies, and everything going on in this trial, and it hasn't even started yet. Diddy was denied a very key fact. Diddy wanted to postpone the trial. And people was like, they saying we need to gather more information. There's too much information. We need a little bit more time. But Judge Subramanian wouldn't let that go. They wouldn't let that happen. And the real reason Diddy and his team wants to postpone the trial is because Cassie is pregnant. You see, Cassie Ventura is having a baby, and the fact that Cassie Ventura is having a child has created a different type of buzz, because you don't want a pregnant woman that's showing up in a courtroom. Juries are known to be sympathetic to a woman who is pregnant walking into a courtroom. You see a girl walking in a courtroom with a pregnant belly, you're going to believe what she's saying. Mm-hmm. So when you move in that format and you move in that kind of energy, and that's put out there in the world, you're starting to see a whole difference in how the world is moving, because they knew that Cassie Ventura was pregnant. They knew that this would be good for them. But what wasn't known publicly was that, because the government had said they hadn't offered a plea deal before, now it seems that in private or within recent times, they have been offered a plea deal. And over the last month, Diddy appeared in court a handful of times. Federal prosecutors, the prosecutors or whatever, and the attorneys ironed out the kinks of what they already are shaping up. That's going to be a follow celebrity trial and probably the recent histories, right? Most of the legal housekeeping is out of the way. Judge Arun Subramanian on May 1st at the federal courthouse in the Lower Manhattan for one of the pretrial conferences. That's going to kick off as the trial kick off on Cinco de Mayo, which is May the 5th. When Diddy was arrested in September and charged with racketeering and all of this trafficking and transportation to engage in prostitution, he pleaded not guilty to all 5 counts. So he's facing 5 counts altogether. Now, Diddy wore glasses in the court to make him look vulnerable. Him not dyeing his hair, letting his hair go gray, makes him look like a weak old man, as he did look very thin. You know, this guy was animatedly, he spoke with his hands. You know, he had wide rimmed black glasses. He was reading documents as the, you know, at the defense table. At one point, he bowed his head and scrawled on he scrawled on a flashboard, prompted on his lap. He's got a crown tattoo on his neck. And, you know, it was vintage Diddy. Except for older, weaker, looked like a docile man. Somebody they had broken. They raked him over the coals and they broke him. Well, what's next to say? In all reality, what is there next to say? No, there's nothing next to say after that. No, to look like he was a docile man was probably a decision made by his legal team. I mean, that was a good decision. Well, at the pretrial hearing, it's the last pretrial hearing before they start the trial. So a plea deal was rejected and proposed by federal prosecutors. During questioning by the judge, Diddy had the option to sit down after he stood up, in which he said, "I'm good." The judge asked whether he had drugs and alcohol in his system in the last 24 hours. He's been locked up, but it's protocol. So he says no. Then he says, "Are you of clear mind?" And he says, "Yes, Your Honor." You know, did he discuss the plea offer with his team? And Diddy said, yes, he did. Before the judge clarified whether he rejected this plea deal. And Diddy said, yes, I do, Your Honor. Thank you. So Diddy turned down the plea deal. So whatever deal they came with Diddy was completely shut down. Now, the question I ask you, why did the government come with a plea deal when they said they weren't offering a plea deal in this case? When they came out and stated, no, we didn't offer a plea deal. And why did they keep the plea deal quiet and out of the media? Because we still don't know the terms of said plea deal. Because when it was rumored before, we had to go by the state prosecutor's words saying that we did not offer a plea deal at that time. But within recent weeks, they offered a plea deal right when this thing was getting ready to hit trial. So before it hits trial, you offer a plea deal. That doesn't look too good. So when he rejects the plea deal and they're going to go ahead with this process, another thing was brought up today that didn't make a lot of sense or sit well with the parties involved. Absolutely. Lisa Boone, daughter of Gloria Alford, and guess what both of them do? They're both so-called attorneys who go in for civil lawsuits and basically get settlements. And her mother, Gloria, has been doing this for years, shaking down celebrities and getting settlements from undeserving women, in my opinion, who play victim for money. Now, with that being said, Lisa Bloom, has been going out, right? She calls herself the woman's rights attorney. And she's been doing these documentaries, going out, saying these things, and they found her behavior deeply disturbing. And multiple times saying that documentary she was doing is there to bolster her client's credibility. And added that they have done everything like they can to speak to Lisa Bloom respectfully. And they said, So they presented that, and then the judge questioned Diddy's lawyers about Bloom violating any rules of professional conduct. And they said she wouldn't go as far as to say that. The judge then reminded both legal camps about the rules surrounding professional conduct, including that nobody in the court is going to tolerate violations, and reminding everyone of Diddy's right to a fair trial. But the damage, in my opinion, has already been done. Now you have to start selecting jury. So a federal prosecutor and Diddy's lawyer reached an agreement where potential jurors will be brought into the courtroom one by one, and they'll be questioned one at a time. Members of the press are allowed to be present for that, but both sides agreed that if any particular sensitive questions arise as the prospective juror is uncomfortable, the jury candidate can participate in a sidebar in a separate room. That happened with me. They did a sidebar on me when I was supposed to be a juror. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Hold on. I gotta put this charger on here. They did a sidebar on me. Guess how that went? Yeah, Giz had technical difficulties yesterday. But yeah, dude was getting off on Giz yesterday. But Giz had technical difficulties. So he'll return. Yeah. They did a sidebar with me. I already told y'all I was on the trial. Wasn't like this. It was an accident with a woman and two different people. So it was like a 3-car accident, and they're going to trial. So it's a jury hit, and I got selected for jury duty. So when I came down there, they did a sidebar. After I told, they said, "Have you ever been in an incident with a car accident with a woman?" And I was like, hand was up. Yep. First time I was ever in a car accident. And they was like, "Can you explain what happened?" And I was like, "Sure, I can." And I went and explained to them what happened. I said, "This is what happened. This girl she was running late to class, and she was trying to find a parking spot because she was running late. She was just wasn't even looking. She was looking at parking spaces to see what was open and wasn't looking where she was going forward. Smashed right into the side of my car. And as I'm spinning around in a circle, she's just like, and I'm like, what are you doing?" And, but I'm like, it don't matter. The broad paid. So she had AAA insurance. So once I said that, it was over. The judge said, well, it was a female judge too, so I knew if I said it that way, I was getting out of that trial. They were not going to select me. And she looks at me and said, well, at least the broad paid. And I said, yeah, exactly. That's how I feel. I had ticked off the judge was ticked off. The lawyers who was defending the woman in the case, they definitely didn't want me on the trial. The other two guys was looking like, that's the guy we want right there. That's the guy we want right there. And they were never going to approve me. So the first people that were allowed to be not in the trial was me. They called my name first. First person out the gate. Well, we want to thank you for your time, for coming in today. And if we need you in the future, we'll call you. First one, Mr. Davis. I'm like, yeah, should have known. I should have known. They didn't discuss what deal they offered Diddy. See, they get to keep everything private. Well, they think jury selection would take a significant amount of time, since lawyers hope to question as many as 150 potential jurors, right? And that could take 20 to 30 minutes. The prosecutors believe they can make it work. Prosecutors say they won't need to see all 150 potential jurors if they can narrow it down to 45 jurors quickly. See, the prosecutors want to get this thing on and cracking. So Monday, it kicks off jury selection. So the thing is, the prosecutors and Diddy plan to go through at least 50 jurors a day. And they're going to narrow it down to get to 45 qualified jurors. Diddy, his attorney, is ensuring that he would be present for the sequestered jury proceedings to make sure they uphold the right to participate in his own trial. Well, jury selection in the Combs case is set to begin at what, 8 o'clock in the morning. And the goal is to set 45 jurors in 3 days so that both the prosecution and the defense have May 8th and 9th to further prepare for the opening statements, which they think by May 12th, they should be ready for opening statements. They're trying to really rush this trial out. Well, when Diddy trial starts, May 5th, with the jury selection and opening statements, they're pretty much ready to kick it off in pretty much less than a week. Diddy trial is not going to be televised because it's a federal crime. In federal courtroom, normally, cameras are not allowed. People will be reporting from outside of the courtroom. Well, people wanted to know, did Diddy suffer any mental capabilities or capacity during his diminished mental abilities during most of the stuff he was going through, like blaming the medicine and the drugs. It's not a good look, but exactly. That's why I'm like, how do people approve a documentary to be aired before a trial even takes place? I mean, they just cooked up a documentary in like 30 seconds and they just slapped it out to the public with mis and disinformation. That's why there's a lawsuit by Diddy's team now against that very action. Thank you, Miss Janelle. Now, the whole procedures go in a way that you cannot even imagine how powerful the decision making was in the process and how it was moving forward. Like, there's different instances that take place that many people look and they shake their hand going, I can't believe this is happening. People get upset. They go in a whole different pattern of disgust, anger. Yeah, it makes no sense. Absolutely. So you want to know, like, why this guy is facing these crimes? Why is Diddy doing this? And Diddy lived a swinging lifestyle. So it's like, are you going to arrest all the swingers that's out there in the world? Why are you making Diddy the face of swingers? So now, this video of Cassie that they now have got the right to air in court, when clearly the edited version was shown in court, not the full version. That has never happened before. Diddy's lawyers have some demands. Will a judge grant them? Mm-hmm. Well, that's basically it. So when they shot down the video, which in my opinion didn't make any sense because they were going through great lengths to hide the video, the original copy of the video. Yeah, they put in a motion to exclude that video because it was obtained from CNN from evidence. The video shows in which Bad Boy Records founder Sean Diddy Combs, who's apologized for the video of him putting his hands on Cassie in a hotel hallway. Right. Diddy throws a vase, everything, right? Mm-hmm. So they hired some forensic specialists. The video was condensed and not to create an accurate version of events, therefore distorting the evidence, right? That's what the forensic specialist found out, that this video is edited. The judge in this case denied their request, saying that the video was a fair and accurate depiction and that there are two witnesses who authenticated the video. Lawyers for the government were able to have the video shown or slowed down so it's clear, and we'll be able to show it to the jurors during the trial set to kick off on May 5th. That to me is clear manipulation for Diddy, because no time in the history of court have a edited video been used in a federal crime. You would have to have the original source material to show that in court. You could not show an edited video in a trial. The April 25th pre-conference set the stage for the much anticipated trial, right? Well, Diddy stares down life in prison. Well, he faces 2 counts of trafficking, 2 counts of transportation, 1 count of racketeering, and he's pled not guilty to all charges and maintained his innocence in response to dozens of SA lawsuits which detail alleged events dating back to the 90s that has been filed against him. So now the racketeering is the participation in an illegal scheme under the influence of what they call the corrupt organization, salute, or, RICO. So now the U.S. government wants to prosecute all of this and use the RICO law that they use to target a whole bunch of people like gangs and, well, not even gangs, mob figures. Now gangs have replaced mob figures. And that Diddy has coerced the victims in some sort of way and was using workers through intimidation and narcotics to participate in these RICOs. Sometimes they go a whole day that they need IV to recover. Sick. I mean, this is what kills me. Vincent McMahon has done way worse, and he's able to buy his way out and still stay connected to companies, corporations. Nobody is saying let's rip off their sponsorship. Let's boycott WWE to make sure he's not there. He was facing these allegations and was still allowed to work, still allowed to conduct his business, and then another one had to come up. And then they said, well, we just can't have him around. We just can't have him around. People have spoken out like this man is ridiculous. And the fact is, they know it. They got the text messages. They got it all. And this man still is behind the scenes somewhere calling the shots. And no one is in the media blasting Vince McMahon, blasting anything he do. Well, she's pregnant with baby number 3. And they're using that, and that's why they want to kick this trial off right now, is because she's pregnant. So a pregnant woman hitting the stance is going to have a big impact. Oh, look at her. She's pregnant. See, everybody in the jury is going to be thinking as if this happened like 9 months ago. And she's going to be showing. Mm-hmm. Time served. That's how it should be. Oh, if it was a people, this trial would be one day. It'd be like, is that it? Is that it? Now, for what we know, they have 3 witnesses. Cassie's friend. Okay, one girl that's known as Cassie Friends and a sex worker. 2 sex workers, right? Now, a lot of people think victim number 3 is a chick that used to date Diddy, one of his Asian girls. Remember, I told you Diddy could be taken down by his Asian girls. And everybody was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, Diddy better be careful with them Asian girls. He better keep them on lock. Because if he grabbed one, and Gina, her credibility isn't 100%, but still, those Asian girls are out there. And Diddy's Asians can take them down. I've tried to tell people. They just got to listen when I talk. I made the video and I told people. Those Asian women can take you down. And Diddy went on this whole I'm just finna date Asians run. So he stayed on a run where all he did was date Asians. And that's cool if that's your vice. But now you're going to have to deal with the consequences of what comes with that. A lot of these people talk. I don't think they're ready for the consequences of what comes along with that. Not really. You see, when I would say other people make observations into your position, it's always going to be a something told on a slant or something told at a disadvantage to the person that's looking into it. No. When people start to fall short of what other people say, right, you start to see it and witness it more and more. Everybody know what time it is. Oh, 100%. If you start looking at this right here, right? Diddy has a string of Asian exes. And I said, what? That could be Diddy's downfall. Because all three of these Asian women are different. Now, he's got two under control and lockdown, but that third, the one in the middle, Gina, she's not locked down. And that could be his downfall. Gina says she was pregnant before and like she lost a baby. She's been very vocal when speaking about Diddy. Now, while Cassie and Diddy was dating, Gina was also another woman he dated in between those two. So when the housekeeper said that Diddy was having sex with another woman right in front of her and she was disgusted, that she did not want to see that, and all of this stuff as if he was trying to get the cook or the chef to join in. You know, she was not interested. Actually defending Diddy over the charges, yes. Diddy did not commit those acts, sir. I don't believe Sean Diddy Combs committed any of those acts. Everybody who was there wanted to get down. And that was it. He didn't force anybody to do anything. No, I don't believe that. Absolutely. No. If they knew what was best for them, they knew they would take a whole different approach. Where's my proof? There's a reason he's trying to use the mental health card. Well, one, he wants to say mental health when it came to the actual abuse of putting hands on Cassie. The fact that they were both on drugs at the time, and that affected his mental, behavior, him being on drugs, but she was also on drugs, as you will find out in this whole reading. So, what does the mental health thing mean to you, Craig? You seem to have made your mind up that Diddy is guilty with all of the stuff that's been going on surrounding him outside the fact of people trying to sabotage him. 150 people, Tony Busby civil lawsuits that's been ridiculous, to say the least, with no proof of evidence. Do you think that all of this is a coincidence? Why would they offer him a plea deal, Craig? Why would you all offer a plea deal to somebody you got dead to rights? See? And by the way, R. Kelly is innocent of the charges they put in front of him the last time they convicted him. They convicted him on charges he shouldn't have never been charged with in the first place. It was past the statute of limitation. They know it, and they still haven't released R. Kelly. So that shows you, what the law is all about. They went back and they actually prosecuted him on past crimes or past allegations that the statute of limitation had passed on. Which is double jeopardy, which means that R. Kelly should be free because the charge that they got him on is ridiculous. They tried to say he was holding a woman hostage in his house, holding them hostage when they had the right to move in and out of the house. He was paying for them to be in the house, like many other celebrities do, taking care of these women. And the parents is like, we want our daughters to come home, and he won't let them go. Let them go. They free to go if they wanted to go. They didn't want to go. The woman did an interview, said, we don't want to go. Then they finally got to one girl, and she turned on R. Kelly. They never gave up the details or the specifics of the case. Of the plea deal. So I can't go by a theory when it hasn't been presented. I'm going by what's being presented. What's been presented is we don't know what they offered him in the plea deal. People are speculating what they're offered in a plea deal to Diddy. He could still do a lot of time. We don't know that because we don't know the specifics on what was never publicly said that. See, that's when people's thought patterns go into play and they spread misinformation and disinformation. See, Craig is going off emotions and feelings and what he feel is this and what he feel is that. When we could see this thing from a mile away. I know what Cassie is. You're going to be heartbroken when he's jailed for life. And I agree with the Busby stuff to a certain degree. He effed up at times, no doubt. Did you have that belief before he said the words Jay-Z? See, it's a matter of who they like. Once Jay-Z was involved in the case, then everybody looked at Tony Busby different. Did y'all know that? Did anybody catch that? They even got to the point where they wanted to say, yeah, Jay-Z, get that Tony Busby, but Diddy's guilty. I think Diddy did it with the same case, same woman, same thing she lying about. Diddy is connected to it. Y'all think Jay-Z is innocent and Diddy is guilty. On the same woman, same case. It's crazy. It's crazy. If one is off, both is off. So now that Jay-Z came out and fought, and now all of a sudden, Tony Busby is this, he's that. So if he's this and that, then he ain't no good and all this stuff, right? Why you didn't see that in the beginning? Why did it take Jay-Z to do it? Huh? Why did Jay-Z? Because it's all about celebrity. It's a matter of who you like. You can't see the case for what it is because you're blinded by celebrity. Y'all are blinded by celebrity and people's actions because it was Jay-Z went right after Busby. Now the Busby fanatics, they're still trying to say Jay-Z did it and Jay-Z knew the girl and Jay-Z knew her and they did have a connection. Knowing this woman is insane. They know all the facts. This woman was just got out of jail, been in a mental hospital, everything. And they still took the case. Feds have all the evidence. Okay. Well, then if they got all the evidence, then I'm quite sure what they call as evidence, why are they fighting over the Cassie tape? Where are these other people if it's a RICO? Where are the co-conspirators? Craig? Since it's a RICO case, where are the co-conspirators? When has a edited video been used in a federal crime? You see what I'm saying, Craig? It's not making sense. Now, if this wasn't Diddy and somebody else, you'd be like, hey, this don't sound right. Still waiting on the other people too. Exactly. How we kept being told by the pro Busby people, right? And the pro Diddy is guilty people that, oh, it's coming. Oh, it's coming. It's going to be a superseding indictment. And they superseded to add 3 lines to the lawsuit to add 2 more witnesses. One person that's Cassie's friend and some guy who I guess was a sex worker. So now the credibility of a sex worker is going to be used, right? Somebody who says that, hey, I was paid just to have some sex. No co-defendants, no RICO, right? Where are the celebrities that they said they had on the tape? Where are the celebrities that they talked about? Where were the underage girls that they talked about they got on tape? Where were they at? Where's all that evidence that they were saying in the beginning of this whole thing, right? When they grandstanded out there and start talking, where were any of these people? What about the drinks that had drugs in them? Exactly. Where are they? Where are the drinks that have drugs in them? Yeah, where are they? You see what I'm saying? When the math ain't mathing, there's a problem. Because if you had them dead to rights, why all of these unprecedented things happening in a courtroom? Yes, I will. Championship rounds. Why the tape was doctored? Why did they feel a need to doctor the tape? Why would CNN decide to get a tape, doctor it, and put it out if they're supposed to be a news outlet? What needed to be doctored out of the tape? And why did the defense never get a copy of the original? They need to be shown the original tape. It's a federal case. Somebody's life is at stake, and you're doing this. Dark Kent, you should do your homework. The tape is doctored. What you're looking at is an edited version of the tape. There's more to the tape that they don't want you to see. You have to understand the case. The prosecution is arguing that Diddy was trying to drag Cassie back into a freak off, and she was trying to escape a freak off. Like she was being trafficked. They're making that assumption off of the edited tape, which is a complete lie. In my opinion, it is a complete lie. They know it, she knows it, and everybody else, and she's going along with what they want to have happen. Ignorance speaks for itself, people don't research, just follow their favorite media outlets. Yep, exactly. Now, if Cassie was done the way that they claimed, right? Cassie should have co-conspirators and be one of the co-conspirators herself, right? With her trifling. Exactly. You see, but Cassie isn't the one on trial. She's the witness. She's their star witness behind all of this, with very little credibility. Cassie was in therapy with Diddy. They both went to therapists. They both went there for drugs, seek treatment for drugs. Cassie was trying to escape a freak off. Yes, that's what the prosecution is arguing. She was trying to escape a freak off, and Diddy was trying to drag her back to the freak off. Mr. Combs was in a towel, and she was leaving because she didn't want to be involved in the freak off. Well, I'm going to tell you, the prosecution, when they argued this, I couldn't even believe it myself until I heard them actually. Well, we didn't hear. We have the transcripts of them actually saying these words in court. And you see Mr. Combs in his towel chase Miss Ventura down from what we believe is a freak off with a client in the hotel room. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe she said this. That they have a client in the room and that Diddy was, it was insane. Absolutely insane. Anybody believe that? I don't know what to say for them. I really don't. She was a freak off consultant. Well, the situations always keep turning into something that's not in his favor. So when I told people she was cooperating with the feds in this case, when it was first breaking, that Cassie is cooperating with the feds, y'all said I didn't know what I was talking about. Not y'all, but the majority of the people, they popped in here and said, you don't know what you're talking about. Cassie, I was like, well, she took a plea deal, but the feds are saying if it's a federal case of a crime, that plea deal don't protect you in that. Cassie wants to know that she still get her money. So nobody pressed any federal charges against Diddy. Cassie never, the star witness, never went for Diddy to get Diddy locked up. She wanted money. She wanted money from Diddy. She never wanted him to go to jail. Nobody who was in this situation tried to federally take Diddy to jail. They wanted civil. If he done all these things that they saying, why didn't you come after him? Why didn't you go to the authorities, Cassie, and say, hey, this is what I want? We never got that. You know what else we didn't get? We didn't get any other cooperation from you. No. We didn't get anything from you. Everything you've done has been thrown to the side. Diddy was the cheater. Diddy was cheating and doing all this and all of this, but you did it also. You admitted to an affair with Kid Cudi, right? Who were the others? That's just the one you admitted to. Y'all both have cheated on each other, right? Both have been in a volatile relationship with one another, and you stayed together for years. You stayed incident. They're acting like you left. You was with him 2-3 days later at an award ceremony. Right after that hotel event. They tried to throw TD Jakes in the situation, and TD Jakes almost had a mental breakdown. I ain't do nothing, man. I wasn't at nobody with Diddy. Why y'all doing it to me? Oh, Lord. Now, right, and I'm like, this is supposed to be a man of God. He's supposed to be a God-fearing woman. I mean, a God-fearing man, and he out here scared to death. Why y'all doing that? Why y'all doing this to me? I'll be like, dude, what is wrong with you? Where's your spine? People go to this church. Oh, Lord. They was like, something's wrong with him. Yeah, I guess he felt. I mean, all it was is that all of that stuff with Jakes, all that stuff was gonna come up, and he didn't want nobody looking into him, and he was scared to death. Mm-hmm. Well, when people come around full circle, then maybe we'll get people to be honest for the first time. You see, once Cassie was cooperating with the feds, it was already a done deal that she was going to be the star witness. So we knew right away because, look, we know who victim one is. Come on. It was like so dumb to even play this game. That's like saying, we don't know who victim number one is. Like the person they called victim 3, that they say is Cassie's friend. Now, if it's Gina, oh, this really going to throw a wrench in their plan. The Asian girl, because see, that's the one that she said Diddy assaulted her. She was on Tasha K, talking about she was pregnant and all that with the baby, and that she lost the baby and all this stuff. So that stuff is going to come full circle. It truly is. This is why I always tell people, be careful in your plans of what you're asking for. Because what you're asking for will come back to get you when you least expect it. Not when you most expect it, when you least expect it. Boom, there it is, right on your front door. So you want to make sure you got everything in all your ducks in a row, because this is what it looks like in the end when it's all blowing up in front of you. This is what it looks like. So you want to maintain your prominence at all times. I've tried to find ways to keep people, like connected to the situation. If they don't understand it, they just don't understand it. But my job was to keep people connected to the facts and start pointing out the BS. And I'm surprised and shocked other people wasn't doing that. And I'm like, how are you ignoring this? How are you ignoring these facts? And why are you omitting it? Oh, okay, because there's money and dumping on Diddy. Oh, I get it now. So now it's money and dumping into Diddy. Diddy did this, Diddy did that, Diddy ain't this, Diddy ain't that. Okay, now I get your angles. So now it's like, okay, we get what you're trying to do with it. Go ahead, have your fun. But then what's next? Another teardown of another black man who was innocent, where they use black faces to do it. I don't tear down, I tell the truth. It's like, you tear down LeBron James every day. No, I don't. I tell the truth about LeBron James every day. When we start lying, you let me know. Mm. Diddy ain't do nothing but dance all in his videos. Right. They got Diddy in there dancing. No. What I'm saying in this case is that everything that happened was mutual. That's what I'm saying in the case. Somebody's like, so you saying Diddy is innocent? Yes, of the charges. Everything that happened there was consensual. in my belief, and definitely of knowing Cassie. And when this trial kick off, y'all gonna learn everything that I've been telling y'all about Cassie. You're gonna hear about it in this trial. They're gonna come with this pregnant woman thing, but watch. You're gonna hear and you're gonna learn about it in this trial. Straight like that. Diddy is a monster. How is he a monster, Lucky Star? How is Diddy a monster? Does Diddy do acts that I would never do? Absolutely. I already know. How I already know Diddy's a monster. That's what they say on TV. That's what they say to minimize people. He's a monster. Really? How? How was Diddy, man, a monster? It didn't make sense. A lot of the things they did not make sense. Is Bill Clinton a monster? So Bill Clinton is a monster, right? But see, that's what they want to push in the media and everything else. Diddy's this monster. But I'm going off of the evidence. If you look at the evidence of what they're charging him with, I think it's bullshit. All of it. Because every last one of these people, so you're going to tell me somebody who gets paid money to have sex is a credible witness? What does he need to be locked up for, Lucky? Lucky Star 772. What does he need to be locked up for? Please tell me. Stop playing games with people's lives. What games did he play? What did he need to be locked up for? That is a good point, Black McBain. Very good point. In case y'all don't know who he's talking about Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, one of the largest banks in the world. Not gonna bait me playing. Not going to bait me. Don't play games. It's not a bait. We want to know what you feel. You will pay your karma for supporting him. I'm not supporting anybody. I'm going off the facts of the case. I don't have a contract with Sean Diddy Combs. His personal sexual behavior is not something that I'm a part of and I'm with. That don't go with my moral code of what he's doing, acts with Cassie and all that stuff. I don't do that stuff. I'm not with that. But I'm looking at it from a legal perspective. And from a legal perspective, if the people said they consented to doing these events, then what are we talking about? My thing I have with y'all is, why are y'all ignoring these facts? You're quick to call him a monster and all of these things, but you're ignoring the facts. If you're saying he's a monster because he put hands on Cassie the way that he did, then okay, I hear what you're calling him out for and saying, okay, you saying because he did these acts. Right, because he did this, and you saying, oh, he had nothing to do with her at all. Well, I don't know what other acts do you what other reason that you have. If it has nothing to do with her, then I don't know what's going on. Is Shannon Sharp a monster? I guess they're gonna call Shannon a monster now. I have no idea what's going on. They love to call black people monsters. I don't understand it. You'll see. We'll see in the trial. Wow. I guess we will see. I guess, was he gonna like turn into the Red Hawk in the courtroom or something? And I'll be like, man, they was right. Diddy's a monster. These people have sick, perverted sexual ways about themselves. We know that. My allegiances. My allegiance is to the truth. That's where my allegiance lie. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see when it comes down, because when the rubber meets the road, someone's gonna have to step up and say, one way or another, this is what I do, this is what I don't do. Yeah, a lot of people speak out about that believe every woman stanza. Every woman tells the truth. Every woman is the truth. We need to find a way to make it work because it's not working. So when the math isn't mathing, like everybody says, then you start to see it in its particulars, and the particulars start to show up. Now, unfortunately, you don't have those smart people around. Now, when did the when did baby become a crime? What did he say? Diddy lives a swinging lifestyle. I'm not about swinging. I don't even want to be in the same room with another guy while I'm having sex. Only people that need to be in there is me and the girl. That's it. Well, the feds claim Diddy turned his multifaceted business empire, right? Turned that into a criminal empire. Mm-hmm. That's what they argue. They wouldn't let this man get a fair trial if his that's been lost a long time ago. So saying in court Diddy has a right to a fair trial is really a slap in the face because everything they've done has been an insult to this man having a fair trial. He should have been allowed bail just off of that alone. A superseding indictment was filed on what was it, on the third? The third revised indictment following an amended indictment in January and a superseding indictment in March, which charged him with 2 additional counts, one of trafficking and one of transportation to engage, right? He's pleaded not guilty on all charges, right? Is Diddy in jail? Despite all the recent attempts at bail, Diddy was ordered to remain in custody at the special housing unit in Brooklyn, right? With all of this going on, there have been no co-conspirators yet. They're still saying, "Oh, this guy is one of the big guys who's turned his music business to a criminal empire." He started at Uptown Records with Mary J. Blige and Jodeci. Then he co-founded his own music label, Bad Boy Records, where he sold over 500 million records with multiple platinum singles. But then the Bad Boy founder, under the name Puff Daddy, launched his own solo career, where he became a monster, releasing hit album after hit album. Then he began to change. The more success he got, his showbiz success wasn't limited to the radio airwaves. He became a TV personality, even in Hollywood films. He launched a sportswear. Then he really became a monster. He won a Council of Fashion Designers of America award in 2004 for men's wear designer of the year, the first Black designer to earn that honor. This is an entrepreneur known as Sean Diddy Combs, the monster. He needed to feed that monster, so then he launched a successful liquor campaign with a collaboration with the British beverage maker Diageo. Its vodka brand Ciroc since terminated his equal share venture. And it went all up in smoke for the monster. There's even questions of the rumored death of his longtime partner and mother of 3 of his children, Kimberly Porter, who died of pneumonia in November. The on again, off again officially called it quits in 2007 after 13 years of dating. But the two remained friendly, often spending holidays together. But she became recently sick and soon lost a bout to pneumonia. Cassie Ventura. Cassie Ventura was an inspiring singer and performer, trying to reach new heights as an artist when she ran into the monster, Sean Diddy Combs. She was 19 years of age at the time. And she dated Combs, who was 36. Their relationship spanned a decade. Combs' most recent high-profile relationship with the rapper Caresha Brownlee, known as Young Miami, from the rap duo City Girls, was linked to Combs, confirmed she was single after April of 2023. Ventura accused Diddy of the R word, trafficking, and physical abuse in November of 2023 during a civil lawsuit after being lured into a fast-paced, drug-filled lifestyle and a romantic relationship with the monster known as Sean Diddy Combs. The singer claimed he took control of her life, ranging from her health care to her career opportunities, and plied her with drugs and alcohol. Combs allegedly did R-word Ventura in 2018 and forced her into repeated unwanted sexual encounters with male prostitutes who he hired and recorded their encounters together. Ventura and Combs settled their legal matter one day after. So that's how we got here, people. That's how they're painting the story. Bradley, that's what me and you both know. That's exactly the case. But the prosecution arguing that videotape is proof that she was trying to escape a freak off, and Diddy was trying to take her back to the freak off. That's what they were alleging when they were speaking in the bond hearing, that about the videotape when they tried to get the videotape removed. Ryan Leslie worked for Diddy, right? And Ryan Leslie met her in a cocktail lounge, Cassie. Cassie manipulated him, flirted with him, gave up the cuckoo to Ryan Leslie, and then her and Ryan Leslie was dating. Cara, I don't know what the dog shit is, because I've seen people get the dog shit beat out of them, and that definitely was not the case. Maybe you need to watch the video again, because that was no dog shit beating. If you get the dog shit beat out of you, you're not gonna go 2 days later to an award show with that person with no scars or nothing. Unfortunately, we have seen the dog get beat out of somebody, and that definitely wasn't it. I mean, I'm not trying to sit here and judge the amount of damage something like that is done, because nobody I know has said Diddy was right to do what he did. Nobody, not me, not anybody, saying Diddy was right to put his hands on Cassie. No. But they just have it on tape. But Cassie has also put her hands on Diddy. And they have witnesses to that, to attest that she's also hit Diddy. Mm-hmm. Actually, it was a movie premiere. Right after the incident, she went to a movie premiere for the movie she was starring in with what's his name? Terrence from doggone BET 106 in Park. A movie Diddy got her in. And Terrence J was the love interest in the romantic lead. Somebody Diddy trusted. Now, how would Terrence J get to star in a movie? I have no idea. With Cassie. Oh, Diddy. That's how. No. Not in a million years. You see, when you start thinking about what's really finna go on and what's really finna be the main scenario in the case or the situation together, it's all depends on you. In actuality, a lot of these people are just liars. And the majority of them don't really care. No, 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 no. You got to understand, there's a big dog in the situation. Big dog eat little dog. And that's just how it is. Ryan Leslie brought this woman in to Diddy, and then she ended up being his girlfriend and all that because she was giving him something. But she never officially said that my boyfriend is Ryan Leslie. And Diddy was flying them on jets, doing all this stuff and ready to make Cassie a star. She saw who had the money, and she went from this little cocktail singer who really couldn't dance. She could barely sing, but she had the look that Diddy liked and said, oh, look at Cassie. So they went with that. Cassie's never had no real talent. Never. You can't think of a damn Cassie song besides You and Me. They done spent all this money wasted throwing away on Cassie. True? So true. Hey, Tony Busby. I hear Drake like I'm young. Mm-hmm. Right. She gets all the support, all the love, and she gets to play victim. The whole time. Now, in the courtroom, one of the witnesses is Cassie's friend. Now, I don't remember her and Gina ever being friends. But let's see how this works. And let's see how it plays out. If the man is guilty, then he's guilty. Meaning that if he did do the crimes, then he's guilty. But if the man is innocent, he's innocent. And if somebody's doing something wrong, got to point it out. Mm-hmm. Bingo. Bingo. And Bingo was his name, Mo. Bingo. Bingo. And Bingo was his name, Mo. Mm. I ain't never heard something so right. But of course, their hands are behind their back. Pulling the strings. People got all the other motives. I just find it very convenient that once Black people start talking about enterprising into independence and power, the other side come through and do what they do. Bill Cosby wanted to buy NBC, got close, his son dies. After numerous warnings, they tanked his movie Ghost Dad so he wouldn't get the capital to do it. $25 years later, he revisits the plan to buy NBC. Then comes a slanderous campaign to destroy Bill Cosby. Because in the 1970s, he was dating women and using Spanish Fly. You had all these uncredible people come out of the woodwork to now, if you mention Bill Cosby's name, it's spoken of as a negative. They threw Bill Cosby in jail for months, knowing that they were illegally putting him in jail. Since Bill Cosby's been out, Cosby's at home. He got money for the rest of his life. It was like, they should take the Cosby Show down. They can't, because they make too much money off the Cosby Show. You got to understand, Casey and Warner make money off the Cosby Show too. Now, if it was all black, yeah, they'd take it down. But now they like, oh, wait a minute now. Wait a goddamn minute, Rondell. My money's tied into this too. All we wanted to do was stop him from buying NBC. And he did it. And once Diddy said, hey, no more supporting the Democratic Party, and he clashed with the liquor company, the major liquor conglomerate from London and England. Oh, Diddy's got too big for his britches. We got to show this Negro who he's talking about. We got to buy his vote. He's starting an independent black party. Oh, no. Now he's finna cut off all black celebrity support. What does he mean, do something for black people? We gave him a concert. You think the federal prosecuting government gives a damn about Cassie Ventura and her plight? No. They're using this woman as the catalyst to pull off their move. The federal government is going to care about trafficking when there's people being trafficked right now. Kids, teenagers. They ain't doing nothing about it. And we finna care that Cassie Ventura, the federal government, they are so concerned about what happened to little old Cassie Ventura that they got to do a whole federal RICO case with no co-conspirators. I've never seen this done in the history of court trial. Remember, this is just the beginning. The co-conspirators are coming. Where? Remember they kept telling us that? Oh, teaser tails and everything. Oh, those co-conspirators, they're coming. They're going to get them too. Where? So we finna get the Patreon cooking right now, matter of fact. So y'all get ready. I got something great for y'all on the Patreon. Deuces.